Hello everyone, welcome to my business law lecture series. Today we are going to continue the essentials of contracts with some case laws. Before that, let us have a small recap of our previous classes. In previous classes we learned regarding essentials of contract and wherein which we have completed the first six: offer and acceptance, legal relationship, contractual capacity, lawful consideration, lawful object and free consent. In today's class, we are going to cover the remaining concepts. The seventh essential element for a valid contract is certainty of terms. See here, certainty indicates that it must be possible to identify the meaning of contract. Section 29 of the Indian Contract Act provides that the agreements, the meaning of which is not certain, becomes void. So it is one of the essential elements of a contract that the terms of the contract should be able to understand. So here is a case study of Scammell versus Outston case. In this particular case, the terms was like this. Outston agreed to purchase a new van from Scammell on hire purchase in exchange of old vans. Its terms is uncertain. Based on this agreement considered as the void agreement, because Outston agreed to purchase a new van from Scammell. It's fine, but based on hire purchase, if we consider it is in a hire purchase, then Outston has to make a periodic payment. But the thing was, in exchange of old vans, so it's highly difficult to understand the terms of contract. So for that reason, under this ground, this particular agreement was become void. And the next one, possibility of performance. The agreement must be capable of being performed. An agreement to do an impossible act is what? ನಾವು ಏನು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ, ಆ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ should be capable of performing. For example, here are some two agreements. Agreement to construct house and son. Is it possible to perform? It's highly difficult. So it cannot be considered as a valid contract. Or agreement to bring the person who was lost in a lost year or lost person. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಸತ್ತು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ತಂದು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದ? ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ತಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್? ನೋ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮಬಲ್. ಅಂತ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಲಿ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ಡ್ void. Section 24 to 30 of Indian Contract Act mention such agreements expressly declared as void. The law expressly declared, that means law specifies certain contract as the void contract. Lawನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ ಇಂಥ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು void contract or valid contracts ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. So section 24 to 30 of Indian Contract Act defines such expressly declared void contract. So those contract cannot be considered as a valid contract. So some of these contracts are agreement in restraint of marriage, agreement in restraint of trade, or agreement in restraint of legal proceedings. So let us see one example. Agreement in restraint of marriage. Assume that Ritesh and Rita were engaged and their marriage was fixed. But in between, Anirudh entered the scene and he made a contract with Ritesh to break the marriage agreement with Rita. So the agreement between Ritesh and Anirudh is called as agreement in restraint of marriage. That is, agreement to break the earlier agreement. The same thing applies to agreement in respect of trade or agreement in respect of legal proceedings. Hope you understood the concept. So the last essential of a valid contract is legal formalities. So these formalities are common in every situation. If you enter a college, so you have to observe and follow various formalities there. Same thing applies to contract. So here, the contracting parties must observe and follow the legal formalities associated with the specified law. That means, so these legal formalities may change from one law to another. According to the situation, according to the applicable law, everyone or business parties have to follow the formalities. For example, so here are some specified laws and legal formalities. If you consider Indian Companies Act, Memorandum of Understanding must be registered. If you consider Indian Negotiable Instrument must be in writing. So it won't say that it should be registered, it must be in writing. If you consider Transfer of Property Act, sale of immovable property must be registered again. So these are all small examples of formalities. But the thing is, according to the applicable law, the business parties should follow legal formalities. Hope you understood all the essential requirements of a valid contract. So we have studied 10 basic essential requirements of contract. So in today's class we have studied certainty of terms, possibility of performance. It should not be expressly declared as a word contract, and the minimum legal formalities to be observed and followed by the business parties. Let's have a small quiz. Certainty of term implies only limited number of conditions to be in a contract, must be expressible in the form of numbers. It must be possible to identify the meaning of the contract. And the last option is none of the above. So here, certainty indicates. Hope you guess the answer. That is C. It must be possible to identify the meaning of contract. The next question. The possibility of performance means capable of performing, probability of happening or not happening, natural events of the nature happens in the nature, none of the above. Possibility of performance means a contract should be possible to perform. So here possibility of. And the next question, expressly declared word that implies option A, agreement declared as void by the statute, agreement not declared as void by the statute, agreement not declared as valid by the statute, agreement declared as valid by the statute. Answer is E, agreement declared as void by the statute. A contract to find out red cow in C is a void contract based on the criteria lawful offer, lawful acceptance, legal relationship, or possibility of performance. I hope you guess the answer. The answer is D, possibility of performance. It's highly difficult, or it's not possible to find red cow in C. So for that reason, it cannot be considered as a valid contract based on the possibility of performance criteria. It's not possible to perform or complete the contract. Section dash of the Indian Contract Act provides that the agreement, the meaning of which is not certain, becomes void. Option 29, 30, 31 and 32, and the answer is E. Agreement in restraint of marriage is an example for implied as what? Expressly declared as what? Expressly declared as valid, implied valid contract. Agreement in restraint of marriage. Hope you recall the answer. There is B. Expressly declared as what? Agreement in restraint of marriage, in restraint of trade, or in restraint of legal proceedings. So these are all the references for this study. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed and happy learning.